Well, you know, I was mentioning that my first formal experiences working on behalf of the community were in churches. And everybody here goes to church. And y'all know who runs the churches. I mean, I think that one of the things that you learn very early as an organizer is that the men may talk, but in terms of getting work done, you've got to talk to the women. And that lay leadership, that leadership of people who are willing to organize the meetings and make sure that the flyers get out and make sure that, you know, folks have some refreshments and make the phone calls, and all that work was primarily women leadership. And part of my job as an organizer was to then get those women to recognize that they were already leaders, and that meant that if they were doing all that, there was no reason why they couldn't also take the podium and negotiate with the mayor of the city of Chicago on an issue. And in fact, it turned out that they could, but it was just a matter of them recognizing that power in themselves on a consistent basis. I think one of the difficulties in a lot of communities that we currently face is that there was a lot of important community work that was underwritten by women. And when it became necessary economically for all women to enter into the workforce, then all the work that was being done in the schools and all the work that was being done in a lot of community organizations, it was harder to do because there was just so much that women could do in terms of raising their family and working full-time, and then also participating in civic activities. And then that's something that I became aware of very, very early on. But you know, each of those women that I worked with, whose names are not famous and you wouldn't recognize, gave me more than all the big shot leaders that I met, the people whose names are in the newspapers, because ultimately you are the ones who build communities up. You know, it may be that there are folks whose names are up in lights, but I ended up premising my whole career, not only as an organizer, but later as a civil rights attorney, and then as a state legislator, and now as a U.S. senator, on this real confidence, this real faith in everyday people and the work that they do. With respect to my wife, I would just say that since she's smarter than me and better looking, I have no choice but to exalt her. And now I've got two young daughters who are smarter than I am too. You know, I was named as by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the world, and I had to explain I'm not even the most influential person in my house. I rank, Dr. Haidt, I rank below my wife and my 6-year-old, because my 3-year-old does whatever my 6-year-old does. So I think I'm tied for third with my 3-year-old, and will soon be surpassed.